Yes.
How bitter were you after the release?
After we were...
During the time and afterwards, there had to be some bitterness.
You know, you have that, you know, like, oh, like they said, shikataganai, shoganai, you know, that. And I think if you're bitter, it doesn't help you any. It doesn't. It's you look at it as an experience. You know, it's a learning experience, really. You just become a better person for that. Be more compassionate for other people.
Did anybody try to escape?
No. But you know, after a while, we were able to leave. I mean, not leave in a sense of, but we were able to get out of the, and go. We were near a river, Shoshone River, so we would go there and play and come back, that type of thing. But and some people were able to, would get passes to go to the next town, which was Cody or Powell, and do some shopping there. The only experience I had as a Girl Scout was as Girl Scouts, we were able to go to Yellowstone National Park for camping for a week. Yes.
Were you allowed to speak or write in Japanese? I've seen different, like it's kind of like a linked verse or haiku that published in Japan, but also in the States. Those were composed inside the camp.
You know, in camp, we didn't have Japanese language school anymore, you know, but we did shibais, you know, plays, and we had odori, you know, classical Japanese dancing recitals, and so they did a lot of things like that. But I didn't get to go to Japanese school. They didn't. Well, the teachers were gone, and but we had Buddhist church, which was also in Japanese too. But they didn't. The language school was the only thing that was missing, but anything else, we didn't seem to be lacking for. Yeah.
Were you able to celebrate?
We had obon. Yeah, we did that. We always, I guess wherever you go, there's obon, right?
That's a festival.
Yeah, it's a Buddhist festival for the dead. It's a celebration. Yes.
I really would like to thank you for coming to our university because I teach a course on East Asian women this semester, and we were going to watch video documentary on this issue, but you are here in person, so I'm really thankful for that. Well, I think that my question is, was there a moment when you feel like your story or some similar stories like you that you had in internment camp is used politically? For example, there are still ongoing controversies between Japan, China, and Korea in relation to what happened during the Asian Pacific War. And so, were there a moment, I know some like right-wing or overly patriotic historians in Japan oftentimes highlight this internment camp case to cover up and victimize the entire Japan as a nation and try to cover it up along with the atomic bomb stories of victim stories. Was there a moment when you feel like your story is inappropriately politicized and used by the people?
I don't know about that, you know. You know, my friend, I have a friend. She's 10 years older than I am. So I was talking to her, and I says, you know, your aspect of internment camp and mine, you know, feeling about internment, two different things. She was 18 already, and I wasn't even old enough. I mean, it's just a kid, sort of more or less. And I see all these kids my age, you know, I never had that many Japanese friends in my life, type of thing. And she was finished high school, and she was ready to go on with her life, and she couldn't. So you get the different feeling. I know when I came out of camp that I didn't want to be Japanese. I had that feeling when we went to Utah. I said, I didn't want to be Japanese. I didn't want to speak Japanese. I didn't want to do anything to do with Japanese, you know, for a while, you know, and then you go revert back to your roots, and I end up speaking more Japanese than I did when I was younger, and it just comes out. And John looks at me like, okay, what are you saying? So when I get mad, sometimes the Japanese comes out. Yeah, when I'm hungry, yeah. And then you know, and you teach your children little Japanese phrases, you know, bocha bocha, and that type of thing. We do a lot of that. And so our kids, even if they're part Japanese and part Caucasian, they get the two languages, you know. Yes. That's true.
But when they were in the States, they were Japanese, so they've lost home, essentially. I would agree. And the other thing is, when I was growing up in Japan, I don't remember reading about a Japanese internment. Like, I actually learned it when I came to the States as an exchange student. So it's not very well, it's not really a part of the education that I was receiving, I guess. It's probably less likely than it used to be.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who went back to Japan after the war. They were in, a lot of them from Tule Lake, and that was their choice, you know. They wanted to go back to Japan. I have a cousin who did that. She was married and then went to Santa Anita with us, and then she ended up in Tule Lake. And she opted to go back to Japan. So I saw her last year, and her son, who was born in America, you know, is well, of course, we're all older now, so, yeah.
And it's not easy to return either, to transition.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I would like to introduce Jon Barbara Shirota, who was born on Maui, Hawaii, and graduated from Brigham Young University in Utah. He settled in California, where he worked as a U.S. Treasury agent. He joined the Handy Writers Colony in Marshall, Illinois, which was founded by Lonnie Handy and James Jones. At the Writers Colony, he completed Lucky Come Hawaii, the first of his 2 published novels. And this novel was adapted into a play which won the John F. Kennedy Center Award for New American Plays. He is a recipient of numerous awards, including honors from the Rockefeller Foundation, the American College Theater Festival, the annual LA Weekly Festival, East-West Players for Outstanding Artistic Achievement in Playwriting, the County of Los Angeles Cultural Affairs Department, the Japan-USA Friendship Commission, and the National Endowment for the Arts. His most recent play, Voices from Okinawa, is being produced in early 2008, and he's currently working on a book of essays on Okinawa. Please join me in welcoming Jon Shirota.
Recently, I gathered together with friends of mine over coffee, and their wives were talking about everything unconceivable, and football, basketball, and all that. And then went to classical music, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven. Somebody mentioned Beethoven, and this lady said, "Oh, Beethoven, I just saw him the other day on the number 5 bus going to Hollywood." And all of a sudden, there was a silence. And somebody very discreetly, very politely says, "Oh," and starts talking about something else. Well, on the way home, the husband of the lady turns to her and says, "You stupid woman, how could you have seen Beethoven on that bus?" She said, "I did." He says, "You couldn't have. That bus don't go to Hollywood."